Hello everybody, my name is Belfi and today we'll be playing day 2 of the 14 Days With You demo. As a quick recap of what happened in the last day, we met a cute pink-haired stranger named Ren and invited him over to our house for some reason because we were scared of an intruder that our neighbor had told us about. We ended up sharing a bed with him and even giving him a kiss. At least in this save file, that's what we did. There was another save file where we just told him to sleep on the couch, but we'll be continuing with the save file that we kissed him in. So let's go ahead and get started. The sound of birds chirping happily outside pulled me from my slumber, as the streaks of sunlight peeked through the blinds of my window and cast a warm glow across my skin. Ugly, I turn on my side and smush my head into the pillow to block out the light, only to hear the faint sounds of tapping to my left. Cracking one eye open, I was surprised by the scene in front of me. Ren was already awake, perched up against the headboard as he idly scrolled through his phone. It seems he was waiting for me to wake up, judging by how he immediately puts his phone down as soon as we make eye contact and sends me a soft smile. Almost sheepishly, I shoot him an awkward smile of my own before covering my face with a pillow once more. Had Ren been watching me sleep? I hope I wasn't drooling. Morning, Angel. His voice pulls me from my thoughts, and I couldn't help but notice just how attractive he sounded in the morning. His gruff, sleepy tone was rather pleasant to hear, and I found myself wanting to continue the conversation. Lifting my head from the safety of my pillow, I was greeted with Ren's soft demeanor once more. I'd appreciate it if you weren't so chipper this early in the morning. You'd be chipper too if you realized that you weren't murdered in your sleep last night, which can only mean one thing. That creepy guy didn't come back to your apartment last night. He seems almost smug as he leans closer to me, and it was then that when I realized just how pretty he looked underneath the morning light coming from my window. It wasn't fair that he got to look so ethereal and glowing this early in the day, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to praise his looks or throw a pillow at his head. Ren doesn't seem to pick up on my speechless nature though, as he continues to beam down at me with such a soft look. And I found myself wanting to look away in fear of making things even more awkward. I guess I did a good job, huh? He's a bit too smug. If you ever need my services again, I'd be more than happy to oblige. For free, of course. You're really talkative in the mornings, aren't you? I can't help it. I gotta wake up next to a real cutie this morning. Oh, as if noticing how close he was to me, or maybe realizing that he dropped his usual stutter, Ben immediately pulls back and turns his head away. Anyway, now that you're awake, would you like to go out for breakfast? I think that cafe near the pier is open now. We could go check it out, like a date, but only if you want to. Why did he suddenly switch again? I figured we'd at least be a tiny bit closer, especially considering that we shared a bed, but maybe I was wrong. We also kissed. We also did kiss, so I don't know. You mean the Driftwood Cafe? I didn't even know it was open to the public yet. Really? Well, what better way to find out than by finding out, I guess. I roll my eyes at his lame attempt at a joke before groaning into my pillow. Did he seriously want to go out for breakfast this early in the morning? Man, he was seriously a trooper. With a sigh, I reluctantly sit up and stretch my limbs. From that action alone, it was like I could feel Ren's eyes on me. But as soon as I turned my head, he was already staring holes into the blanket with a blush on his cheeks. Shaking my head to dismiss those thoughts, I let all of my joints pop before breaking the silence once more. So, Driftwood Cafe? In the end, Ren and I decided to walk to the cafe together, considering how the weather was perfect and it wasn't that far from my apartment. Turning to my side, I notice how the pink-haired man tries to not so subtly sneak side glances towards me. The arm at his side practically itches to reach out, and if I knew any better, I would have assumed he wanted to hold my hand. But instead, he simply tucks his hands into his pockets, and shoots me yet another soft smile. The weather's really nice today, huh? Back to small talk, it seems. Sure is. If I had known it'd be this nice and sunny, I would have suggested spending the day at the beach instead. Yeah? Yeah, we could go for a swim, or maybe even check out the rock pools. It's been a while since I've been there. I don't know if he looks too excited about going to the beach. Oh, that does sound fun. Okay, well maybe he's okay with it? I don't know. Belfie! At the sound of my name being called, I turn on my heels only to find Leon running up to me with a sports bag full of what I assume to be his volleyball gear. Heyo, Sunfish. It's good to see you out and about this early. I was just on my way to the beach to meet up with Jay and Tio. Did you want to tag along? And hey, it's Ron, right? Nice to see you again, buddy. Oh, it's Ren, actually. Sunfish. Oh, yeah. Sunfish is the cheesy nickname Leon gave me when we were kids. I don't really get it either, to be honest. So, Sunfish and Ren, was it? Sorry about that, bud. I'm not too good with names. Aces too sometimes. But hey, it's good to see you both again. Doing anything exciting today? If not, you can tag along with me and... Angelfish and I were about to go on a date, actually. Angelfish? A date? I don't miss the way Ren suddenly pulls my arm closer to his side, nor the way he clings on to me as though I'd suddenly disappear. You're going on dates again, Daro? Good for you. I'm glad to see that you're coming out of your shell again. Take good care of him for me, won't you, bud? What do you think I've been doing ever since you've moved away? Like me, Leon barely seems to notice Ren's mumbling as he rests an arm over my shoulder and starts tugging me in the direction of the beach. Ren, on the other hand, still latches onto my arm but doesn't seem to move. I can't believe my little Sunfish is out there in the dating scene again. I feel like a proud father. Oh please, we're practically the same. Practically? Where did I get practically from? We're basically the same age. I feel like a proud, adoptive father. Leon pretends to wipe a tear away from his eyes as he leans further into my shoulder. And it was only then that I noticed Ren wasn't following us. Turning around, I reach out to grab his hand instead, to tug him along. He immediately seems to perk up at the action and entwines his fingers with mine before falling into step. Alright, as fun as it is to catch up with my proud adoptive father who's the same age as me, which makes things kind of weird, Ren and I do need to get going. Oh yeah, of course, I didn't mean to take up so much of your time. He unhooks his arm from around my shoulder and inclines his head towards the beach one more time. But my offer still stands. If you want to catch up some more, I'll be down at the beach with... Oh wait. Speak of the devil. Almost like he appeared from thin air, Theodore, or rather Tio, emerges from somewhere behind Leon and makes his way towards the three of us. Though unlike most of my friends here in Cortland Bay, I actually met Tio in the city a few years ago, back when I used to live there. In fact, it was through our mutual friend Jay. Apparently, they'd both known each other since the beginning of middle school, but even after graduating and moving on to university, the pair were still practically inseparable. According to Jay, Tio would always show up at campus to pay him a visit. Though, if I were being honest, I'm sure Tio only did it to antagonize some of the students and staff there. It definitely wasn't out of the ordinary for him to do something like that. Plus, it offered me a lot more insight into the whole assertive yet nonchalant attitude he often liked to put on. The first time I'd ever witnessed it was when Tio found me sitting alone at a cafe. I still remember sitting there slack-jawed as he practically shoved my laptop bag to the side before he sat down and took a sip of my drink like it was his own. The satisfied grin from seeing my displeasure said everything, and had he not offered to buy me another drink, I'm almost certain I would have told Tio to get lost and bother someone else. But before I can reminisce any further, I hear the sounds of Tio's footsteps drawing closer, and it pulls me back to the present. I watch as he walks up to us with a confident stride, before he purposely bumps into Ren with the sole purpose of sending him tumbling into the metal railing behind him. Now why would he do that? But luckily, Ren manages to catch his footing at the last second, sending Tio an annoyed scowl of his own. Aw shit. Sorry about that. I'm not sure how I missed such a brightly colored children's mascot. Alright, there's no need for that here. Despite Leon's tone, Tio barely pays the shorter male any mind, seemingly far more interested in Ren instead. Let me guess, you're dressed up as Benny the Buttercup. My 4-year-old cousin would love you. Boy, knock it off, mate. What's your problem? Dunno, what's yours? I could practically feel the tension between the two grow, so I decided to step in. Maybe you should introduce each other first before you try glaring each other to death. Tio, this is Ren. He's my, well, I'm his boyfriend. He's our what? We didn't talk about this, did we? Well, that was certainly one way to put it, especially without bringing it up with me beforehand. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a little weird to call someone your boyfriend before even talking about it. But, okay, I guess so. At his words, I shoot Ren a confused glance, but the determined look on his face had me biting back my words. Okay. Anyway, this is Tio. He's... Wait, how should I introduce him to Ren? He's a friend from the city. He's my ex-boyfriend. He's just a fling. I've never seen this man in my life. I think we can just say he's a friend from the city. Aw, you consider us friends? That's real cute, doll. Are we not friends? You always used to show up and sit next to me whenever I'd visit the cafe near campus. Which was weird, because I never told anyone where I was going. Oh? Maybe I wanted to say hi before visiting Goldie. It's on my route to his university, you know. So he wanted to spend time with me before visiting Jay. How uncharacteristically thoughtful of him. Or maybe I was bored and wanted to see what someone with a lower class income does in his free time. Never fucking mind. Just kidding, doll. Besides, you're a bit too boring for my taste. I doubt you'd even be worth hiring a private investigator. Okay, enough. Look, why don't we just drop this, yeah? You really need to stop trying to pick fights with everyone, mate. Aw, don't get your panties in a twist. I seriously doubt Buttercup's capable of harming a fly, let alone able to throw a decent punch. You can drop the nickname. Nah, but I think Dollface over here should drop you instead. Besides, the nickname is kinda cute. Matches your style pretty well, don't you think, Buttercup? I could see Ren's hand clench into a fist as he advances towards Tio, but thankfully, Leon steps in once more. Seriously, why don't we all cool off, yeah? I think we're getting a bit too heated. Look, we're going to head down to the beach. I don't miss the way Leon sends Tio a sharp glare. Are you sure you don't want to join us, Belfie? I promise to make sure that Tio stays on his best behavior. Sorry, Leon, but I've already made plans with Ren, and I seriously doubt they'll be able to get along. You know how Tio can get. Yeah, you've got a point there. Well, alright then. He leans closer to me, almost as if he didn't want the other two eavesdropping. If anything happens, I'll be in the area. Just come find me, okay? I will. Thanks, Leon. I give his arm a soft squeeze and turn my attention back to Ren. But by the way he looks at us, I can only assume that he didn't like how close I was standing to my childhood friend. Though, that could have also been because Tio was still around, and honestly, I couldn't blame him. Regardless, I reach for his hand once more and tug him towards the cafe, making a point of ignoring Tio's crass words as we went along. I barely notice how Ren's mood immediately changes when my attention is back on him, and he follows along like a lost puppy. We eventually arrive at the Driftwood Cafe, and the smell of fresh pastries and brewed coffee flood my senses as it wafts through the open windows. And just as I thought, the cafe looked as though it had only recently opened, though it didn't seem as busy or crowded as I anticipated. Pulling me from my thoughts, Ren ushers me into one of the empty tables before he goes off to make an order with a pleased look on his face. It was a bit strange how he didn't want to look at the menu first, but I chalked it up to him wanting to surprise me. He's barely gone for 5 minutes before he returns once more, taking a seat in front of me with a huff. A comfortable silence washes over us, and I watch as he absent-mindedly fiddles with the ends of his hair. Was he concerned about what Tio said about his appearance earlier? Maybe it'd be a good idea to take his mind off of it. Hey, Ren? Oh, give me a moment to let my cat out of the room. Alright, there we go. Almost immediately, he perks up with wide eyes. How do you manage to keep your hair so fluffy? It always looks so good. Ren seems to flush instantly at my words, and he sheepishly ducks his head lower to hide his reddening cheeks. You like it? I usually just angle a blow dryer below my chin and blast the heat, and it just stays like that afterwards. Oh, so you don't need to use any products or anything? Not really. Just when I thought he got over his timid personality, it slowly came crawling back. Was this really who he was? Ren must have taken my silence as a lack of response, seeing as he tries striking up another conversation. So, work's going good for you, huh? Finally got that promotion? Ah, yeah, wait. How does he know we got a promotion? Anyways. Ah, yeah, I did. I was honestly surprised when I first got my promotion, considering how I've only moved back here recently. But Eleanor has been really helpful by showing me the ropes and... Wait, how did you know I got promoted? That's what I'm saying. How does he know? Was my model frozen? I'll be right back as soon as I fix this. Wait, we're back. Sorry about that. My internet went out and then it affected my model and stuff. But now we're doing well. So let's go ahead and get back into it. Oh, your coworker told me all about it yesterday after you left. Eleanor, right? She seemed really proud of you. Anyway, what were you saying about her showing you the ropes? I barely noticed how he managed to change the conversation back to me, as I recounted all the times Eleanor helped me through my first week of working at the library. It eventually reached the point where it felt like I had been talking for hours, and it wasn't until something caught my eye did I finally stop. Aw, look at that cute puppy. That goth style is pretty cool. You've got something in your hair. Or, sorry, what were you saying? Let's go ahead and do that goth style is pretty cool. Because we wore an alternative outfit in the last day, yesterday, in day 1. And he had like a certain reaction to that when we were wearing alternative clothing. So I wonder if he's going to have another similar reaction. Goth style. He also glances out of the window and follows my line of sight before landing on the person walking by. They were decked out head to toe with heavy makeup, platform boots, and clothing you'd only find in stores like Not Tropic. Ren's eyes seem to follow their form until they're out of sight, and the it's impassive. The impassive look on his face made me curious. Yeah, it is kinda cool. Do you like that kind of style? Because I always thought you preferred something softer and... Order 25? Oh, that's us. Wait right here. I'll be right back. So he did have a reaction similar to before. I think he mumbled like the same thing before, that he thought that we were into softer styles. Before I could get a word in, Ren was jumping out of his seat and meandering his way towards the kiosk. It really was a sight to behold, seeing Ren tower over most of the other customers who were waiting in line. Even the cashier herself, who seemed to be at least 6 feet tall, had to crane her neck upwards just to look at him. Wait. If the waitress, or not the waitress, the cashier was 6 feet tall, or is 6 feet tall, how tall is Ren? That's some crazy height. But before I could blink twice, Ren was already on his way back with a large tray full of delicious food. He seats himself back in his original spot with a pleased smile and begins to lay out the dishes in front of me. Oh, this is... a delicious looking scone, a chocolate croissant, a big slice of cake, or a sugary cookie. I think I would like a delicious looking scone. A delicious looking scone sits next to my beverage, and I almost heard my stomach rumble at the sight. How did Ren know that this was my favorite thing to order? Granted, it wasn't like I've been to the Driftwood Cafe before, but this was usually what I'd order at any other cafe. It was honestly like he could read my mind. And what was even more mind-boggling was that he didn't even need to look at the menu beforehand. It was like he just knew. Don't forget your drink. Ren shoots me another gentle smile of his before placing my drink before me. No way. The drink he placed in front of me, it was... a cup of coffee, a steaming latte, a can of soda, or a fruity smoothie. I think I personally would like a fruity smoothie. I think a cup of coffee or a latte probably goes really well with a scone. But I'm not really a coffee guy, I'm more of a tea guy. The inviting aroma of fruit floods my senses, and that alone was what assured me that Ren ordered my favorite smoothie. Just like the ones I usually bring on my way to work sometimes. I hope this is okay. Unfortunately, this cafe doesn't really have much to offer, judging from the menu I saw online. So that's how he knew what to order. I even tried asking for napkins earlier, but I don't think they heard me. Maybe I should try again? I almost felt bad for him, but I also felt grateful for ordering me something that I'd normally eat at a cafe. Ren makes sure everything is on the table before putting the tray aside, and it was then when I noticed what he'd ordered himself. On his plate sat a strawberry sweet roll, alongside a cup of coffee that was an alarming shade of black. He seemed to pick up on my inquisitive stare, if the innocent tilt of his head was anything to go by. "You want want my meal instead, we can swap if you want. I don't mind. This was supposed to be a date, right? Deciding to tease him a little, I shoot Ren a sly grin. That's okay, but you could offer me a bite instead. Ren almost seems to combust on the spot as his cheeks turn red and he almost chokes on his own spit. He looks down at his food before glancing back at me, only to look down once more to scoop up a bite-sized piece of his food. I watch as Ren's cheeks turn into a deep shade of red, while he brings his fork closer to me, and not wanting to be seen as a coward, I lean in to take a bite. His eyes widen almost immediately, and he seems hyper-focused on the way my mouth wraps around the fork before I lick my lips and let out a pleased hum. Damn, we're really teasing him. It's yummy. Try some. But this is cute. This is like a cute date, whatever. The pink-haired man seems to have an awkwardly long staring contest with his own fork before he scoops up yet another small piece and takes a bite. Does this count as an indirect kiss? Ren's cheeks are still scarlet red and he seems almost fidgety with how his legs keep bouncing under the table. I decide to take pity on him and not tease him for it. With a knowing smile, I start digging into my own meal with a pleased hum. Eventually, we ended up finishing our meals and decided to do a bit of window shopping to pass the time. I had nothing else to do today, and Ren seemed insistent on spending the rest of his time with me, so I agreed. We passed by a few clothing stores, ice cream stands, surfboard rentals, and many other interesting buildings, though nothing really caught my interest. But just as I thought I'd lost all hope, one store in particular catches my eye. In one of the display windows, I spot this cute little rabbit plushie in the style of Haruko's likeness. I mean, it even came with his limited edition sorcerer outfit and everything. I couldn't believe they were selling these things here of all places, and at such a cheap price too. Ben seems to take notice of what I was not so subtly gawking at, but before we could enter the store, the cashier walks in front of the display stand and blocks our view. She drops a box of miscellaneous items at her feet and begins stalking the shelf next to the plushies, before she finally notices us standing by the window. I don't miss the way her eyes widen at Ren. Obviously taking an immediate liking to him, and almost shamelessly pushes a strand of hair behind her ears before giving him a small wave. Sneaking a glance at the taller man beside me, I noticed how Ren wasn't even paying any attention to her, instead keeping himself busy by scratching at his jaw and kicking at the stray cobblestone rocks by his feet. But the cashier seemed adamant about getting Ren's attention, considering how she felt the need to abandon her spot by the shelves and make her way towards us. Hi there. Welcome to Seaside Trinkets. My name is Olivia. Can I help you with anything? Oh no, we're just looking around, but thanks for... We recently got some new beachwear merchandise if you're interested in checking them out. Was she seriously ignoring me? Oh, you kind of look like someone I know. Have we met before? Maybe we went to the same school. Me? I don't think so. Really? I definitely would have remembered a face like yours. Oh, she's getting real close to him. I'm dead. Actually, now that I've got a good look at you, I watch as she shamelessly takes in Ren's appearance before crossing her arms over her chest and leaning back. You almost remind me of one of those characters from a cartoon that's been gaining a ton of traction here. Apparently, one of the locations from that show is based on Corlin Bay's main beach. Are you talking about Attack on Giant? Is that the name of it? Then yeah. I don't really know much about those cartoons, but our company recently started selling some stuff for it to entice the tourists. Do you want to come inside and take a look? Actually, do you want my number as well? Here. You had this prepared? course. That is crazy to just have a slip of paper with your number on it, just in case, at all times. You always need to be ready in case any cuties walk into the store. I'm dead. I wouldn't want to sound like a hypocrite or anything. Ben looks at me with a shy, knowing look before he hesitantly reaches out to take the piece of paper. What did he mean by that? Before I even get the chance to ask, Ben already answers my silent question with red cheeks and a crooked smile. This is embarrassing, but I also had my number prepared for when we met at the library yesterday. Here. He reaches into his back pocket and pulls out a folded pink sticky note of his own before discreetly handing it to me, alongside Olivia's number as well. Huh? Why was he giving me her number as well? My confusion must have been blatantly obvious since Ren was quick to explain his intentions. With a mischievous grin, he leans closer to whisper into my ear. Maybe we could prank call her later. That'll teach her not to give her number out to strangers. But isn't that what you just did with me, Ren? I match his teasing smile with my own as I run a thumb over the pink sticky note in my hand. Touche, but I've yet to receive any prank calls from you, though. Don't jinx it. Just as Ren lets out a puff of laughter at my joke, Olivia cuts him off. Hello? I'm still here. Oh, right. Sorry. Anyway, now that you've got my number and I've got your attention again, I think it's only fair I show you around the store. I don't do this for just anybody, you know. And doesn't seem to answer her initial question, nor does he seem to outright respond to her, and instead casts an inquisitive glance in my direction. It was like he was asking me for my opinion, and I can only assume it was because he knew about my interest in anime. I thought... Sorry. I can't even read. It was thoughtful of him to do that, but I kind of wanted him to tell that rude worker off instead. Wait, did I really want him to do that? What was wrong with me? I'm sure that the cashier just took an interest in him, and there was nothing wrong with that. It's not like we were a couple anyway, but we were supposed to be on a date right now, and Ren did declare himself as my boyfriend earlier. But I just assume he said that in order to get Tio off my back. Does that mean... Was he feeling the same way as me? Was jealousy on his mind when we talked with Leon and Tio earlier? I wasn't sure how I felt about this new discovery. Elfie. Huh? Do you want to go look at the items? We've still got a bit of time to kill. Here, why don't I show you the most recent stock? We haven't shown this to the general public yet, but I'm sure you'll love it. Without warning, Olivia, was that her name, reaches out for Ren's arm, and practically drags him inside the store. He lets out a surprise sound before leaning back and trying to grab hold of my own arm as well, but I was just out of his reach. There's nothing else I could do but watch as Ren helplessly gets pulled into the store. It's back here in the stock rooms. Usually we don't allow customers downstairs, but you're a real hottie, so I'll let you take a sneak peek. No, actually, I'm good. Don't worry, we won't get caught. I'm sure your boyfriend won't mind if I borrow you for a bit. Wait. She calls us his boyfriend, but still blatantly is flirting with him? Something isn't adding up. Or that's just crazy, she's like a homewrecker. I'll even throw in some of those cartoon stickers for you. Clearly that'll make it worth your time. The wink she sends him felt a little excessive, and I honestly wished Ren would turn around so I could gauge his reaction. But instead, he leans in close to her face and whispers in a hushed tone that I could barely hear from my spot outside the store. If he wasn't mumble right now, I would've mumble down the stair, mumble without a mumble thought. And honestly, it's, mumble, fucking tempting. He's fucking threatening her? I'm sick. From their current position, it looked as though they were having a really intimate conversation, and I felt the sudden urge to look away. Why was I getting bothered over this? Oh, getting so bothered over this. I know we aren't together, but Ren shouldn't be off flirting with other people while on a date with someone else. That's true. That would be really weird if someone had started flirting with other people when they were on a date with you. I would never want to be someone who wasn't considerate. Oh, I would never want to be with someone who wasn't considerate of my feelings, and up until now I honestly thought Ren would have had a chance. I guess I was wrong. But still, there was this nagging voice at the back of my head that kept telling me not to give up on him so easily. Ren was the one who confidently stood his ground when Tio got a bit suggestive, so maybe I should do the same. Would he even mind? Before I can stop myself, my feet start to move on autopilot as I march towards the two of them and reach for Ren's sleeve. I give it a hesitant tug, and I swear I could almost feel the relief wash over his body because of it. Ren's entire demeanor seems to change in that moment, and he turns to me with a relieved smile on his soft features. I don't really have any interest in this store. Can we go somewhere else? Yeah, of course. Wait, hold on. Ren carelessly shoves Olivia's outstretched hand aside and gently places an arm over my shoulder instead. And just like that, he's already guiding me out of the store and back onto the busy street. I can hear Olivia sputter out confused sounds as she watches the two of us leave, and I suddenly felt guilty for causing a rift between them. No matter how many times I tried to brush it aside, I still couldn't get my mind off of what had just occurred earlier. What if Ren was interested in her? Granted, he probably shouldn't have blatantly flirted with her while on a date with me, but he wasn't exactly the most confident guy. Would he still be able to talk to her again if things didn't work out between us? No, I shouldn't be thinking like that. Peering up to gauge his expression, I noticed how he didn't really look all that upset about leaving her. If anything, he seemed rather content to be walking down the street with his fingers entwined with mine once more. I can feel him give my hand a protective squeeze as he looks down at me with his soft blue eyes, and all of my worries somehow melt away. Maybe I did make the right choice after all. It might have been selfish, but it was worth having Ren look at me with such a gentle expression. Eventually, the sun starts to set behind the ocean as Ren and I continue to walk along the beach. Most of the conversation was geared towards me and my interests again, but every time I tried to learn more about Ren, he only seemed to divert the conversation back to me once more. The more I focused on this odd behavior, the more I began to pick up on his social habits as well. I learned that Ren would subtly pick at the sleeves of his cardigan whenever he got nervous, or how he'd scratch at his jaw whenever the conversation strayed down a path he didn't feel comfortable with. His little quirks told me more about himself than the dead-end conversations that only led back to me. I was content with knowing more about him than I did yesterday. Ren no longer felt like a stranger I had met at a library, rather someone I could consider a friend. Except friends aren't supposed to get jealous whenever they see them flirt with someone else. Jeez, what was wrong with me? It had barely been 2 days, and I was already contemplating whether or not I truly saw Ren in a romantic light. Was I going too fast? All of these thoughts were starting to get a bit overwhelming, and... Angel, hello? Huh? You're spacing out on me again. There's that look again. He keeps peering down at me with so much adoration in his eyes, and if I didn't know any better, I would think that he was already halfway in love with me. But that was a very conceited thought, and probably wasn't even true. So, sorry, I was just thinking about things. Are you gonna share those things with the rest of the class? He sends me a playful smile and a gentle nudge into my side, and I couldn't help but laugh. When did we become so comfortable with each other, and when did he lose his stutter? It's nothing really, maybe a bit embarrassing, but well, I was wondering, how do you feel about... My sentence gets cut short when a drop of rain lands on my cheek. Instinctively, I look up and find myself wondering how I didn't notice those dark clouds in the sky sooner. All of a sudden, more droplets fall down until it's all but pouring rain and forcing everyone in the area to find cover. Over here. Ren doesn't seem to pay much attention when he grabs me by the wrist and pulls me underneath one of the awnings of a nearby building. He shields me from the rain with his body, and I couldn't help but feel tiny with the way his arms cage me in as he rests them against the wall. Oh my god, we're getting cabedoned? Cabedoned? Oh. Hello. We look at each other in silence for a brief moment before erupting in laughter. Perhaps it was because of the adrenaline from all the panicked running, or the fact that Ren's hair was starting to lose its fluffiness, but I couldn't hold back from letting out a fit of giggles. This only seems to spur Ren on as well, until we're both wheezing out our lungs and gulping down air. I can't remember the last time I ran that fast. Me too. The looming sound of thunder echoes from afar, and drowns out our laughter until we're both silent once more. Once we both calm down, Ren moves me further away from the rain before casting a glance behind him. Wait here, I'll buy us an umbrella so we can get out of this rain. But you'll get soaked. 'Tis a sacrifice I'm willing to make. I roll my eyes at his corny joke and send him off with an amused smile. He doesn't look back before he makes a mad dash out into the rain and down the street towards the closest convenience store. Though the rain only seems to get heavier the moment he leaves, and I find myself pressing even further against the wall behind me to avoid the recoil of the rain bouncing off the pavement. There wasn't much for me to do while I waited for Ren to return, aside from watching people scramble around for shelter. And just like that, the carefree sounds of laughter echoing from down the street capture my attention as I watch Leon, Tio, and Jay all run to cover like their life depended on it. Well, it seems as though their beach outing got cut short as well. Glancing back once more, I barely make out the figure of Leon using his bag as a makeshift umbrella as he ducks under one of the awnings of an ice cream stand. All while Tio and Jay trail behind at a leisurely pace, kicking and splashing water at each... Oh my god, why can't I read this sentence? All while Tio and Jay trail behind at a leisurely pace, kicking and splashing water at each other in the rain. I had to look away for a moment. I had to look away the moment Tio started to remove his shirt, and I had an inkling that it was so that he could show off. And knowing Jay, he'll follow along without a care in the world, because that's what he always does when it comes to his friends. A part of me feels like calling out to the group to see if I can wait out the storm alongside them, but they all seem to be enjoying themselves and I didn't want to get in between that. Plus, I did promise Ren that I'd wait for him here, even if he was taking his sweet time. Was he ever gonna return? There was still no sign of him or his comfy-looking cardigan. I was beginning to wonder if he really did ditch me. After all, it must have been more than 15 minutes by now. What if he got caught up with something, or what if he went back to see that cashier lady again? Her store did happen to be on the same street, but after spending the afternoon with Ren and getting to know him, I concluded that he wasn't the type of person to do such a thing. Plus, that'd be a really low blow considering that he was the one who offered to take me out on a date today. Although, if I was being honest with myself, it did seem as though they had chemistry. Especially with how she looked at him and touched his arm as though it was the most natural thing in the world. She apparently knew him as well, or at least he looked recognizable enough. Why did that thought make my blood boil? Thankfully, the rain was there to cool me off, as well as soak the ends of my outfit and make everything feel damp and uncomfortable. Was Ren really coming back? It shouldn't take this long to buy an umbrella. There's only one answer we can pick here, and it's we're gonna wait for him. Maybe something did come up. I'm sure he'll come back. And as if on cue, I spot a familiar patch of pink hair from within the misty rain, frantically sprinting with an umbrella in one hand and a bag under the other. If it's thundering and lightning, shouldn't we not be under an umbrella? Oh well. Angel, Belphie. He almost slams into me before stopping just in time, and I could tell by the way he was wheezing that he ran all the way back here without stopping. So, sorry, I thought I almost lost you for a second. It's so hard to see in this weather. Jeez, Ren, what took you so long? I almost wanted to cuss him out for taking well over 20 minutes just to buy a single umbrella, but the genuinely apologetic look on his features made me hold my tongue. Sorry, do you remember your friends from earlier? I ran into them on the way there, which took forever for me to shake them off. And then, the convenience store ended up closing early due to the sudden weather change. So then I had to go to that awful souvenir shop with that obnoxious and clingy cashier again, and she asked me if He was talking a mile a minute, and I was worried he'd end up biting his tongue. Gently, I raise a hand to signal him to calm down, and his intense monologue soon comes to a halt. I'm really sorry about making you wait so long, but... Ta-da! I did manage to get an umbrella, among other things as well. He gives it a small twirl in his hands, sending droplets of water all over the place. You can start by heading back home now if you want, unless you want to go somewhere specific. We can go to my apartment, we can go to your apartment. Where do you want to go? Forget it, I'm going home alone. We can just go back to our apartment. Your apartment? Sure, it's close by anyway. I can walk you home. The image of me taking a nice warm bath after being out in this weather was too hard to resist, so I end up eagerly stepping under Ren's umbrella before heading back home. In the end, Ren ended up walking me back home. Yet despite being the one to hold the umbrella, he still got wet because he offered most of it to me. Ren really was considerate, but it didn't stop me from feeling bad whenever I saw the wet patch on his shoulder. Eventually, my apartment entrance comes into view, and I suddenly wish that time would slow down. I wasn't sure why, but I was enjoying my time with Ren, even though I didn't know much about him. All that I did know was that he was very attentive when it came to me, that he was willing to put in the effort to get to know me better. It was honestly very sweet seeing Ren be so considerate. He still came off a bit odd and eccentric at times, but that side of him was slowly starting to grow on me. Glancing back at the pink-haired man beside me once more, I watch as he casually twirls the umbrella in his grip and shoots me a playful smile. It seems as though he shared the same sentiment as me, judging by how his feet started slowing down the moment we ascended my apartment staircase. With a smile, I turned to face Ren, only to realize that he was already looking at me with an all-too-familiar soft grin. So, here we are. Thanks for going out with me today. I'm sorry it got cut short because of the weather. I really should have looked at the weather app before leaving, huh? It's fine. Maybe we could do this again another time, preferably on a day without rain. Yeah, I'd like that. We stand around at the entrance for a while before Lean in and kiss him. Lean in and kiss his cheek. Thank him for walking you home. Enter your apartment without a word. Let's lean in and kiss his cheek. I think that's like a sweet middle ground. We also could just thank him, but we can be a little sweet. We can give him a little kiss on the cheek. Before I can stop myself, I take a step closer to Ren and gently pull him closer by the front of his cardigan. He seems surprised at my actions with how wide his eyes get. But it doesn't stop me from leaning upwards and pressing a soft kiss against his cheek. The smell of cherries and fresh linen lingers when I pull away, and I watch with slight amusement as Ren's cheeks instantly flare a deep scarlet. Thanks for walking me home. Uh-huh. I could almost see the steam rise from his head as he remains in his slouched over position, so I awkwardly pat his chest to get him to loosen up. I mean, yeah, of course. Don't mention it. He almost bumps his head with an umbrella as he leans back, but remains close to my side. Well then. Much like the first time I met him at the library, I awkwardly gesture to the door behind me as I try to find a way to excuse myself. Sometimes Ren really made these kinds of situations difficult. I should head back inside now, and you should get out of this rain. Oh, yeah, I probably should. He still makes no sign of leaving, which made me wonder if he was waiting to make sure that I made it safely inside my apartment. As if to test that theory, I give him a small wave and turn on my heel. Oh, before you go, this is for you. Without another word, Ren shoves the bag he was holding into my arms with a forced smile. Peering inside, I noticed the Haruko plushie I had been eyeing earlier. He really went out of his way to get this for me. Wow. Well then, I'll be going. Goodbye, Angel. Before I could respond, Ren was already turning on his heels and leaving back the same way he came. With a warm and fuzzy feeling still inside me, I climb up the flight of stairs until I reach my floor. I highly doubt my landlord had fixed the elevator yet, if the caution tape was anything to go by. But it was difficult to focus on those things when all I could think about was Ren's warmth lingering on my lips. But a flash of light manages to pull me from my thoughts, and I notice Violet lingering near the stairwell entrance to our floor. Belphie, hey, I'm guessing the weather put a fork in your plans too, huh? She moves to unlock her door, and I notice how one of her potted plants had been moved to the busted window at the end of the hallway. I'm guessing Violet had moved it to make use of the free rain, and make it easier to water her plants without the effort. Want to come in for a while? This weather is making me feel rather chilly. I can brew some tea to warm us up if you'd like. Sorry, Vi. As much as I'd love to, my social battery is kind of drained by now. Oh, that's okay. I totally get it. You just need some time alone to unwind, right? In that case, Carla over here is good company. She won't talk, but she'll listen to your problems without a complaint. She hands me a small bouquet made from an assortment of colored tulips before waving me off and stepping into her apartment. The smell of lavender wafts out as she pokes her head out of the door, and the scent immediately calms my senses. My offer still stands if you ever change your mind though, just knock and I'll get the kettle running. Violet is so sweet. Enjoy the rest of your evening, Belphie. Toodles. Man, Violet really was something, huh? Stepping into the comfort of my apartment, I discard my keys into the bowl and take off my shoes. Ignoring the awful squelching sound it makes, I try my best not to leave a puddle of water in my wake as I make my way into the lounge room. I pull out the Haruko plushie from the bag and set it on the couch before I turn the television on. Before I turn the television on and prepare myself for a much-needed shower. Breaking news. The body of a young woman has been pulled from a dumpster on Cornell Street, no more than 5 feet from the place she worked at. Paramedics say she suffered multiple blunt forces to her vital organs, as well as showing signs of stress and struggle. Viewer discretion is advised, as these images contain scenes that may be All of a sudden, the TV turns into static, and I can only assume that it was caused by the storm. Oh my god, was it Eleanor or that, girl from the... Olivia from the gift shop? I didn't need to look outside the window to know that it had only gotten worse, and I wonder if Ren was going to be alright on the walk back to his apartment. Also, who was the person on TV? The reporter seemed to be standing outside of a hardware store, which wasn't far from the pier Ren and I went to today. Oh, yeah, so it must be the woman from the gift shop, Olivia. Not to say that she deserved to die, but she was very pushy. But I don't think she quite deserved to die. Damn, I really wanted to know more. Despite that, I don't feel like taking any chances with this freak storm, so I quickly race to the bathroom before the power turns off next. With my body finally free from the smell of rain, I let out a satisfied sigh as I slip into the comfort of my bed. I didn't even notice that I had brought my new plushie into my bedroom, but I bring it closer to my side and bury my face in all of its fluffiness. The faintest hint of cherry and mint emits from the toy and makes my mind drift into thoughts of that strange pink-haired man once more. He was still odd as usual, but some parts of him were starting to feel rather endearing. I noticed how he was no longer stuttering as much or acting as shy, and it made me wonder if we were getting closer. Now that I really thought about it, how did I feel about Ren? I'm crushing on him, I think I like him, I think he's alright. He's kind of creepy. Let's pick I think I like him. I think we're trying to romance him right now, so this should be our option. I don't want to be super blatant with it, but... So I think I like him. Okay, so I guess he was kind of cute and endearing in his own way. Ren was very considerate and attentive towards me today, which I really liked, and he even bought me a plushie without being asked. That instantly raises him from a 4 out of 10 to a solid 7 out of 10. Ren certainly had boyfriend potential, but things were still too awkward between us for it to lead in that direction. But still, it was nice to think about. He was certainly nice to think about. Pulling onto my side, I hugged the plushie closer so I can be surrounded by his comforting scent, and slowly dripped off to sleep. Yes, let's save. That looks like that's the end of day 2, but let's go ahead and load back some of our saves, and just see what the options take. I want to see what happens if we say Tio is like our ex or a fling or whatever. Let's start off with, I've never seen this man in my life. And I've never seen this man in my life either. You guys are hilarious. With a sigh, I try my best to clear the air of any confusion. Alright, Tio's just a friend I made back in the city. You wanna know what's hilarious? Buttercup's outfit over here. What did you just call me? Okay, enough. Look, why don't we just drop this, yeah? You really need to stop trying to pick fights with everyone, mate. Okay, and that's just, we already read that. Oh, wait, no, we're not trying to overwrite the save, we're trying to load. He's my ex-boyfriend. Yeah, I don't like to date people outside of my tax bracket. And don't get it twisted, doll, we were never exclusive. I never even brought up the concept of dating when I was with you. Oh, that explains why you were fine with cheating on me. Wait, what? I thought you guys were just friends. What a complete asshole. Excuse me, it's not cheating if I was never your boyfriend. Alright, why don't we change the subject? I'm sorry, you weren't my boyfriend? Then why would you ask me not to see other people? You think I'd want to share you with others and let them have what's mine? Before I can step forward and knock some sense into that idiot, Ren seems to beat me to it. He grabs the other male by the collar of his shirt, but Tio only looks on with a lazy smirk. What's your problem? Okay, enough. Look, why don't we just drop... Okay. And then that's back to the same. I wonder if, depending on what we answer here, it changes something in the future that happens with Tio or not. Okay, let's do the last one. He's just a fling. Just a fling? I'm pretty sure you'd hit up my line more than once. Wait, what? I thought you guys were just friends. Yeah, we're friends. Friends who were real close. Right, doll? Aw, and what's wrong with your face, Buttercup? What did you just call me? Okay, enough. Okay, and then that's that. Let's see... Let's see if anything changes if we ask to go to his apartment. We can go to your apartment. My apartment? Sure, it's not that far away. We could wait out the storm there if you'd like. I even have a heater and dryer we could use. The image of me sitting in front of a warm, cozy heater was too hard to resist, so I end up eagerly stepping under Ren's umbrella while he leads the way. Oh my god, wait, we're actually going to his apartment. Despite the heavy downpour of rain, we managed to make it to Ren's apartment complex in one piece. I thought he was gonna tell us that we couldn't go to his apartment because he, like, avoids everything about himself. I guess he really wasn't lying when he said his apartment wasn't far from mine. But judging from the pristine interior and fully functioning elevators, his building seemed to be in far better shape compared to my apartment. The elevator ride could have been a little less awkward though if it weren't for the slow ascend and tacky music. Or for the fact that Ren deemed it appropriate to shake his hair like a wet dog and get water droplets everywhere. Once the elevator doors slid open, I was immediately met with a grandiose corridor and large spacious doors, and I found myself wondering how much it costs to live in a place like this. Don't look too hard at how messy my place is, okay? I wasn't expecting to have someone over today, so I didn't bother cleaning up. I'm getting a weird sense of deja vu. Thankfully, I don't have any white-haired neighbors who like to take their plants on walks. Actually, now that I think about it, it's a bit strange, but no one lives on this floor aside from me. I'm not really sure why, but I'm not gonna complain. I can make as much noise as I want, and no one would notice. Ben shoots me a mischievous grin, and I find myself wondering what he meant by that. Does that mean what I think it means? Are we implying something here? Like loud music and stuff? Movies? Yeah, something like that. I don't think... I think he means something else. He unlocks the door with some electronic card attached to his keychain, and the moment the door swings open, I let out an audible gasp. Ren doesn't seem fazed in the slightest as he flicks on the lights and walks into his own home, but I could only stand at the entrance to his foyer in shock. Damn, he has a bougie-ass apartment. Yes, foyer. He had a whole damn foyer in his apartment. Was this even an apartment? Surely a penthouse would have made more sense. Holy shit, Ren. Is there something wrong? What is it? I know the decor is kind of tacky, but it came with the apartment, and I haven't found the time to do anything about it yet. I'm sorry, but you are the long-lost heir of a Are you the long-lost heir of a billionaire or something? This place is huge! And hello, is that marble? No, I get paid a lot from my job. Enough to afford rent, at least. I don't think I've asked you this yet, but what exactly is your job? Uh, my job is, well, I guess you could say I'm a programmer? I don't know, I just take on a few jobs every so often. Nothing super fancy or anything. Nothing super fancy, Ren, you have marble flooring. Leaving the newly discovered programmer at the entrance, I curiously venture further into his apartment. Marble's a pain in the ass to clean too. Oh, Angel, do you want some slippers? The floors can get cold, and your shoes are probably soaked, right? Turning around, I notice Ren opening a small closet and pulling out a pair of dark house slippers. He looks at me with a curious expression, but makes no effort to hand them over. Only if you want them. I'll take them, but only because they look like they're douchey. Damn, they're expensive. Ren looks out. Sorry, I can't read, it seems. Ren lets out a puff of laughter through his nose at my joke, but doesn't seem to deny it. Were these slippers really from a luxury brand? As I put them on, I notice how they're an exact fit. It makes me wonder if I had average-sized feet, or if Ren had bought a bunch of expensive house slippers in various sizes. In varying sizes. But as funny as that imagery was, how did he accurately guess my shoe size without even seeing my feet? Yeah, that is kind of weird. Here, why don't I show you to the bathroom? I'll find you something to wear in the meantime while your clothes are in the dryer. Or would you prefer a towel instead? I guess that'd make more sense. Sorry, I don't usually invite people over. Seeing his timid side resurface once more gave me the sudden urge to tease him. Just a towel? Is it Egyptian cotton? Don't you have any friends? Am I your first house guest? I don't want to say don't you have any friends, that sounds really mean. So maybe just a towel? To tease him? Just a towel? Nothing else? Yeah, to keep you warm instead of taking a shower unless you'd prefer a blanket because I'm pretty sure I have an electric... Oh. It was as if all the gears inside his head were finally clicking together. No, I didn't mean... I meant a towel that you could wear over your clothes, not just you in a towel unless you'd want to, but that's... Why would you... Ugh. I'm just gonna shut up now. Sorry. This shit's so funny. That wasn't what I meant at all. Wait. That's what... that's what I meant. At least, that's what I meant. But his reaction was priceless, nonetheless. Anyway. I'll show you to the bathroom. You can use whatever you want in there. Nothing is off limits. First it was offering to spend the night at my place, then it was asserting himself as my boyfriend in front of my friends. He really doesn't care about personal boundaries, huh? I was beginning to think that Ren didn't really seem to mind when it came to me invading his personal bubble as well. Though he still Okay, let me stop. Let me take a quick sip of my drink. My throat is getting dry and I'm messing up all over the place. So he still seemed pretty standoffish around Tio and Leon, and it took him a while to warm up to Eleanor back at the library. He even seemed indifferent when he first met Violet, but I figured it was only because he was shy. Speaking of being shy, I still noticed how Ren didn't seem to be switching up his personality as much anymore, and I was beginning to think that he was showing me his real side. Up until now, everything felt real and genuine, and I found that we could bounce back witty retorts between each other more easily. Though every now and again he might slip up and stutter, but I assumed it was because my teasing made him flustered. So maybe the timid side of him was genuine after all. But I'll leave some clothes for you outside, and put the plushie I bought for you in your room. Huh? Oh, yeah, thanks. Wait, in our room? Does he mean like the guest room that will be our room for now? Great. I was zoning out again and completely missed half of what he was saying. Something about clothes and a plushie he bought. Was he talking about the Haruko plushie I was eyeing up earlier? I mean, he was carrying a gift bag from that souvenir shop earlier. Did he really buy me that toy? Ren, however, doesn't seem to pick up on my confusion though, and invitingly opens the bathroom door for me with a soft smile. And so, without trying to make things awkward, I quickly slip inside and lean against the door for support. Which was fortunate for me, because one sweep of the bathroom had me stumbling back in surprise. Whoa. Even his restroom looked expensive. I was afraid of touching anything, fearing I'd accidentally break it and end up paying for it. Glancing around again, I noticed how his countertop seems to be void of any dental care, hairbrushes, and skin products, though a few bottles of concealer and an open box of hair dye sit in the corner near the sink. Wait. He doesn't even have a toothbrush? Well, I guess that answers my burning question on whether or not he naturally had pink hair. But now it made me wonder, if Ren does dye his hair, then what was his natural hair color? There were still so many things I didn't know about that soft-looking guy, and I was beginning to question whether coming here was a good idea or not. With a sigh, I decided not to waste any more time thinking about irrelevant things, and instead turned my attention back to the shower. Quickly stripping out of my clothes, I jump into the unnecessarily large glass booth and turn the water on. Glancing at Ren's shelf of Albite's limited hair and body products, I couldn't help but notice that one brand in particular happened to be the exact same as mine. Did we use the same body wash? He didn't really smell like me, but maybe that was because I wasn't paying much attention. I mean, who randomly smells people out of the blue anyway? Shaking my head as such a silly notion, I begin to scrub away the lingering smell of rain from my body and quickly finish washing up. Bundled up in a warm towel, I crack open the large door and poke my head out into the hallway. True to his word, Ren left a small pile of clothing outside the bathroom, neatly stacked and propped against the side of the wall. Bringing the contents back inside, I noticed that one piece of clothing in particular was a rather comfy-looking hoodie. But the design in the front, however, was rather morbid-looking and didn't really suit Ren's vibes. Maybe from a horror film or something, eh? Shrugging my shoulders, I put on the hoodie. Oh my god. Why do I keep putting the word on too soon to when it's supposed to be? I put the hoodie on and instantly get enveloped by the sheer amount of fabric. I mean, it made sense considering Ren's large and lanky frame, but this was just absurd. I had to stifle a laugh from the amusing sight in the fogged-up mirror, but I had to admit that the soft fabric felt nice and warm against my skin. Even the scent that came from it felt oddly comforting somehow. Turning back to the remaining clothes in the pile, I gently pick up the next item and try to put it on. The gray sweatpants didn't seem to fit the length of my legs despite the number of times I tried to tug at the fabric, but luckily Ren was thoughtful enough to give me other alternatives. The dark pair of shorts seemed to be like the better option, especially since it came with a drawstring and deep pockets. Once I was fully dressed, I stepped out of the bathroom and aimlessly walk around until I hear faint sounds of a TV playing. Feeling curious, I follow the source of the sound down the hallway. Breaking news, a sudden storm hits the bay as gale force winds and knock over street signs and evening awnings. Just believe that the sudden change in weather will die down soon and to stay safe indoors. I continue to follow the noise until it suddenly cuts off and changes into a glaring monotone sound, indicating that the television must have lost all signal. And soon enough, I find myself in Ren's spacious lounge room. Aside from the TV, the rest of the lights were off, but I could still make out most of the dark shapes within the room with ease. It was just as ostentatious as the rest of his house. Ostentatious as the rest of his house, though I couldn't help but feel like it lacked any form of life. It just didn't seem like somebody actually lived here. The furniture was gaudy yet tasteless. There was hardly any personal decoration or colors, and there was nothing that really screamed Ren to me. There was no personal touches, photos, items, hobbies, nothing. Just tacky furniture and the bland smell of something sterile. If I was being honest, it gave off the same vibe as a dentist clinic or a hospital. I mean, he did mention recently moving in, right? Maybe that's why. Who moved in? Surprised by the sudden voice, I spin on my heel only to find Ren coming out of one of the hallways with a new set of comfy clothing. He seemed much more at ease like this, especially with the gentle expression on his face. I watch as he takes a respectful glance at my attire before sheepishly averting his attention to the ends of his sleeve. Sorry, that's the only pair of clothing I could find that might fit you. It looks really good on you, though. Oh, thanks. You can even keep them if you want. The sound of thunder rumbling in the distance cuts off Ren's mumbling, and I involuntarily step closer to him. Without missing a beat, he reaches out and rests a protective hand on my shoulder to steady me. Then idly glances out the window before turning his undivided attention back to me once more. Only this time, with a determined look. It's really pouring, huh? I could only nod my head at his words, suddenly feeling sheepish all of a sudden. I really should have checked the weather forecast before I went out today. But to be fair, it didn't look as though it started spontaneously raining when I left my apartment this morning. And I guess I was enjoying my time with Ren to the point where I didn't even realize the weather was turning sour. Angel? Sorry, what did you say? I asked if you wanted to stay the night here, you know, seeing how hard it's raining out there, and your clothes haven't finished drying yet. It'd be no trouble, and I could return the favor, considering how you let me stay at your apartment yesterday. Staying at his place for the night, well, this certainly isn't how I expected to end my day. But would it really be that bad? It definitely beats waiting out the storm and walking home with a bunch of puddles everywhere. Whoa! Let's save. Our options are spend the night or spend the night with like glitching effects. Which one should we pick? Let's pick the one with glitching effects. Oh, it's glitching. Wait. What was that? Did I really want to stay the night at Ren's place? I guess I did. I couldn't really remember otherwise. I guess I could stay, if that's really okay with you. Yeah, of course, it's totally fine. Wow, he really was an energetic, eccentric man, wasn't he? Let me know if you need any more pillows or blankets. Or if the room gets too cold. I haven't worked out how to use the fancy heater system yet, but I can definitely try. Also, you already know where the bathroom is, but if you... Okay, I think I got it, Ren. I shoot him a reassuring smile as I turn to face him at the door. I should have gotten used to his attentive and observant behavior by now, but it still felt like a foreign side of him that I hadn't fully uncovered. Still, at least he wasn't stuttering as much anymore. Is that... No, it can't be. I just looked down at his sweatpants a little too long and started wondering some things. I know. Sorry. I just want you to be as comfortable as possible, so just treat this house like it's your own. Alright, gotcha. He looks like he doesn't want to leave, and instead lingers in front of the door a little while longer. Are you sure there isn't anything else you need? Anything at all? What's behind that locked door? What locked door? And how do we know about it? I didn't even know there was a locked door in the first place, but it would make sense. Okay. We got this, guys. First, I guess we'll just ask for a goodnight kiss. And then we can come back and do the options. Aside from the no, I'm good, thank you, because that probably just ends it right there. So let's see what happens if we just get a goodnight kiss. Almost sheepishly, I dared to look up and gauge Ren's reaction to my words. He seems to be taking it as best he can, judging from how bright red his cheeks and neck get, and the fact that he can't seem to look me in the eyes. Ren, don't get all shy on me now. Yeah, we've already kissed before. In this save, too. Before I could finish my sentence, Ren was already leaning down and pressing his soft lips against my own. I barely noticed the way his hands gently hold on my shoulder to keep me steady, as his head tilts to the side. This kiss was brief and chaste, but it made the both of us flustered. Is that okay? Uh-huh. Okay, good. I'm glad. Good night. Before I can even respond, he's already turning on his heels and speed walking towards his own room. Shaking my head at his odd behavior, I close the door behind me and slowly make my way towards the bed. I noticed how the Haruko plushie Ren had bought earlier was sitting atop the sheets, and I gently bring it closer to my chest and give it a soft squeeze. So he really did buy this for me after all. The faintest hint of... I can't read. The faintest hint of cherry and mint emits from the toy. It makes my mind drift to thoughts of that strange pink-haired man once more. He was still odd as usual. Okay, this looks like... It's the same choice, but we're just in his room. Or we're just in this room now. We're just gonna pick the same option. I think I like him. Or maybe I should have picked a different option. Let's say he's kind of creepy. What was there to say? He still had that flippant personality of his going on. Oh my god, why did I continue and when I didn't even finish reading? And he somehow knew all of my favorite things without me asking. That sounded like grade A creep to me, but I didn't have any solid proof to back up my theory. But I guess I shouldn't be calling him a creep when I was the one who willingly agreed to go to his apartment despite knowing him for 2 whole days. There was also the break-in that Violet mentioned yesterday, but Ren didn't fit their description at all. Well, I shouldn't be concerning myself over this. I still had the new lock installed, so I doubt they'd want to come back. Rolling onto my side, I pushed those thoughts aside as I hugged the plushie closer and slowly drift to sleep. Okay, let's go ahead and save. Let's go ahead and load back and then see what happens when, if we ask to stay in his room. Can I sleep in your bed instead? You want to in my room? Did I just say that? I can't keep letting these intrusive thoughts win. I don't mind, but what's wrong with the guest bedroom? He peers behind my head to glance around the room behind me before sheepishly meeting my gaze once more. Nothing's wrong. I wanted to tease you a little bit is all. Sorry, I don't really know why I said that. Oh, I see. Don't worry about it then. And to be honest, I kinda enjoy it when you tease me. Well, if everything's okay, I guess I'll let you get some sleep then. Yeah, okay. Alright then. Great. I successfully made the mood completely mortifying again. Good night, Belphie. Sweet dreams. Good night. I watch in silence as Bren turns on his heel and makes his way towards his own room down the hall. Okay, so that's what happens. We do that. Let's ask about the locked door. The locked door? What door? Oh, you mean the one at the very end of the hallway? All of a sudden, his timid persona is back again. Was he just nervous? What could he possibly be hiding in that room to make him act like this? There's nothing in particular, just you see, I'm currently using it as a storage room for all my furniture from my old place. It's really messy in there. I'd be embarrassed if you saw what's behind that door. Oh, yeah, okay. That actually makes a lot of sense. Great. Now I'm the person who threw accusations at someone kind enough to offer me a place to stay for the night. Still, it was nice to know that he did own some kind of furniture. Sorry, I guess I was just really curious about it. People usually don't leave the lights on behind locked doors. Oh, yeah. I'd be happy to show you what's behind that door when it's not so cluttered. But if that's all, then I guess I'll let you get some sleep. If you need anything, my room is just 3 doors down. Gotcha. Good night, Ren. Good night, Belfie. Sweet dreams. Okay. I guess that's it then. Is there any other loads that we should go back to? I think that's basically it. I really thought we wouldn't be able to go to his apartment and he would have dodged that. But that's crazy. Maybe we should go to that... Let's ask him where he wants to go. Where do you want to go? Okay, so if we ask him where he wants to go, he just wants to go to his place. Well, my place isn't far. You could wait out the storm there if you'd like. I even have a heater and dryer we could use. Okay. Yeah, so he just offers his place if we ask him where he wants to go. Awesome. Well, I think that's it for today's video. We will eventually do like the bad options, quote-unquote bad options, where like we kind of push him away, but I think I'll do that in a separate video, like all at once. So for now we're just trying to romance him and get a good route, or whatever the quote-unquote good route would be. Just whatever is favoring Ren, I suppose. Anyways, that was an interesting episode. I didn't think that we'd be able to go to his apartment at all, really. Like, I'm still shocked about that. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye!